Well, does anybody see something missing in that picture? Well, what's missing in that picture is added in this picture. Yes, sirree, Bob. The Shade Tree Fix-It Man is going to have air conditioning next summer. Don't need it right now, but it's all mounted in there. Let me take you inside and show you. Oh, there ain't much shade left to the shade tree. Another beautiful day. It's up in the 70s today again. It's about 5 o'clock now, I think. Yes, sirree, Bob, look at that. AC. I've got to wire up myself a plug, which would be very easy to do right here beside my circuit breaker box. How convenient is that? Yep, that'll take care of that problem next summer when I'm out here. But the main reason I brought you out here is not for that. I forgot to put my tool away. You always got to hang your tools back up, otherwise you can't find them. I have decided, after a couple of failed attempts to buy a flywheel with exactly the right flywheel with the ring gear on it, I have decided that I'm going to go ahead and make an attempt at putting this flywheel ring gear onto this flywheel. After looking at it a little bit, it might be that with freezing this and then heating this, that I can get the two of them to go together. So yeah, the next problem that I'm going to have once I get that working is finding a stator that will go inside of this. I found listing for it, but they are not available new anymore, at least from the two-part sources I have. And because they're not available, they don't give you a list for the part number for it. So I'm not sure exactly what the part number would be, even if I could find it on eBay, you know. So I'm not sure if this is one that has just the two wings on it, or if one has all of the what I want to call them, windings, a whole circle of them, because this doesn't have any weights on the inside. But I'll show you something I got over here. These weights actually, whoa, see if I can dump this on the floor. Yep. And this one will sit in there flat if I get rid of the dirt and grease. There's a lot of dust in there that was picked up from the lawnmower. Yep, see that? They fit in there perfectly. So maybe one of you other guys that are into small engine repairs knows more about this than I do. Maybe should give me some kind of a clue as to what kind of a setup I need. And these were not glued in. They just sit inside there. The magnet holds them in place. So I'm not exactly sure what the spacing would be on them or anything else. The other option that I have thought of is that maybe I don't need to worry about a charging system, because all the battery is used for is strictly for starting, and it's very possible I could just put a charger on it every couple of weeks or something, and it's not like you use a lawnmower a whole lot. In my yard, it's not a huge yard, so I only mow it once a week at the most during the peak of the summer, and when we get long dry spells, sometimes it goes 2 or 3 weeks without having to be mowed. So that's what I'm thinking anyway. But the next step will be, I'm going to clean this up pretty nice, put it in a bag, and put it in the freezer in the house. I'm going to leave it overnight, maybe a couple of days, to get it really frozen good. Whoa! And then I'm going to drop the ring gear on my toe, just like that, and see if I can bend down enough to pick it up. It's not that my stomach is too big, it's my back is too sore. But yeah, I'm going to clean up this ring gear, and my wife said that I could put it in the oven in the house, and I was watching another program and they cooked it. I've got to find out how long, but they put it in the oven at 450 degrees, and I think they only had it in there for like a half an hour. So if I get this good and cold, that will shrink down the flywheel itself, then heat this up, and that will expand that, and maybe then it will just drop in place. It's pretty close. I mean, it's close there. You know, it's pretty close. So let's think about it. Now, I'm not sure what the difference should be between the two, but this is, as close as I can tell by swinging it like this, it's like 6 3/4, 6 13/16. Of course, it's impossible to get a perfectly flat inside here because of the hook on the end of my tape. But if I burn an inch so that I hold the inch right on the inside and come across here, it would give me 6. Boy, I'll tell you what, it's so close. 6 5/8. And what did I say this was? 6 5/8, and this is 6 13/16. So I'd have to make up the difference of 3/16 of an inch. And I think that is very possible to do. Because that would mean 3/32 smaller on here, 3/32 bigger on here, and 3/32 there, and there's an 1/8 of an inch right there between the 3 and 2 spaces. That's an 1/8, and 3/32, it takes 4/32 to give you an 1/8, so it would be less than that. I think we can do it. I'm thinking back to when I froze the inserts for the rear wheels on the Goofy cart, and I put them in the freezer. Without putting them in the freezer and shrinking them down, there was no way at all I could drive them into the center hubs on the wheels. But after freezing them down, I was able to drive them in, and the thing is, I did not heat the rim or the hub on the wheel itself, so I didn't have that expanded. I only used the freezing part for the hub. So that's what we're going to try and do. I'm going to clean both parts up. I'm going to throw this in the freezer for a couple of days, and then when I have a chance, hopefully on Friday, today is Wednesday, I'll be busy tomorrow, hopefully on Friday I'll have enough time, I can throw this in the oven. We'll run this out here real quick, and theoretically, holding this with a pair of vice grips should be able to drop it right in place, and you'll be able to watch it as it drops in, and then the heat from this, you'll see the frost go right in. So yeah, I'll bring you back, and if it don't work, it don't work. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And if it does work, we've solved our problem for the electric starter on the Ariens Emperor. So then all I'd have to do is go out and buy myself a starter. That will be doable in the not too distant future. Shiny now. Yes, sirree, Bob. Yep. And it does have some nicks in some places like that on the side that the starter engaged originally. Not bad. But all I got to do is make sure that when I put it on the other direction, and I'll have perfect teeth all the way around. I was hoping when I was cleaning it that I would find some numbers on it, but there's no numbers stamped into it anywhere. So yeah, this is ready. The flywheel, I cleaned it pretty well, but I wanted to get as much of the rust off as I could, so it's soaking in vinegar. And yeah, I'm gonna let it soak through the day tomorrow, and then I'll clean it up tomorrow evening after I get home from Bible study, and I'll pop it in the freezer. So until then, here's looking at you, kid. Bye for now.